Modern Warfare 2 had key features disabled due to exploits. A streamer returns with gut-wrenching news after breaking her back at Twitchcon. IKEA is sicking their lawyers on an indie developer, and much more on Today in Gaming. Hey guys, Level Cap here. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's reviews on Steam are mixed thanks to a weekend of crashes and game-breaking exploits. Players discovered pinging enemies when watching kill cams permanently pings them for the rest of the match. Infinity Ward disabled pinging while they work on a fix. Now before we get to the rest of these details, I have a word from today's sponsor that you don't want to miss. Doesn't it feel like eating healthy always comes at the cost of spending more time preparing your own meals, or often it means eating food that doesn't taste great? What if I said that you could buy fresh, never frozen microwavable meals that taste awesome, are nutrient rich, and help you lose weight? Factor has literally solved my meal dilemma. I went to their website, selected keto from their meal plans. They delivered meals to my front door, and now I'm eating chipotle rubbed pork chops that taste like I got them from a restaurant. I cannot tell you how nice it is to cut this stress out of my day by eating pre-prepared, tasty lunches. Plus, I've been doing a Factor lunch 5 days a week, and I'm actually down in weight. It's a time win, a taste win, and a diet win. A win-win-win, and now I've got more time to win in-game with a brain fully fueled and ready to go. Factor is an actual game changer and one that you have to try for yourself. Head to go.factor75.com/levelcap60 and use code levelcap60 to get 60% off your first Factor box. That's a massive savings. Also, there's a link in the video description that you can click on. Once again, head to go.factor75.com/levelcap60 and use code levelcap60 to get 60% off your first box. Go now and thank me later. Alright, getting back into the Modern Warfare 2 problems, the developers also disabled the game's new weapon tuning system. This lets you tweak attachment attributes and dial in how a weapon performs. Unfortunately, it was also crashing the game for players. Another crash, caused by being in a party with other players, has been fixed. In more positive Modern Warfare 2 news, Hardcore mode will be added in November. It'll be called Tier 1 and is currently available in private matches. Hardcore's exclusion at launch is odd considering Modern Warfare 2019's realism mode was a key selling point. That mode took Hardcore to a new extreme, but it's tough to say how successful it was compared to the game's other modes. Now, Modern Warfare 2's launch was the biggest PlayStation Store launch for the Call of Duty franchise. Sony and Activision are still withholding sales data, but the milestone was announced on PlayStation's official social media channels. Overall, it's been an interesting launch for this year's Call of Duty. Fans are seemingly frustrated by the game's rapidly evolving meta, since new loadouts and weapons unlocks keep pushing the limits of the game's TTK to the edge. It'll likely take a little longer for any concrete meta or clear picture of the game's balance to solidify. It's also likely that Infinity Ward will have to make several changes to iron things out. In our final bit of Call of Duty news, Xbox head Phil Spencer says the franchise will remain multi-platform as long as PlayStation exists. Sony executives recently claimed Microsoft offered an additional 3-year deal to keep COD on PlayStation after the current distribution agreement expires. Spencer reminded folks in a recent interview that Minecraft has remained a multi-platform title despite being acquired by Microsoft. Streamer Adriana Chechik returned to broadcasting for the first time this weekend following her literal back-breaking injury at Twitchcon. Chechik attended the event's now infamous foam pit attraction. Footage of her jumping into the pit and injuring her back went viral. Many responses criticized Twitch and the pit's sponsor Lenovo for creating an unsafe experience. Chechik revealed she had to undergo several surgeries to stabilize her condition and treat her injuries, including 2 back fractures. Chechik also discovered that she was pregnant as part of her treatment and had to give up the pregnancy because of her injuries and the surgeries required. She did not mention taking legal action or any ongoing investigation into Twitch and Lenovo's handling of the event during her stream. Lenovo shut the pit down after several people were injured. We have some info about Battlefield 2042's recent plague of crashes. DICE released a back-end update today that should help alleviate the crashes and freezing affecting PC players. DICE were aware of the issue before the launch of Update 2.2 and don't believe the two were directly connected. They were tracking the issue in live servers at least 2 days before the update launched. Some players believe the problem could be related to GPU drivers. According to posts on the game's subreddit, rolling back drivers to previous versions alleviated some of the crashes. However, I'm not sure how relevant relevant this is since DICE is trying to fix it with a back-end update. DICE also released a server update for 2042 that addresses missing progression and Liquidator unlock rewards over the weekend. They are doubling the bonus Battle Pass missing XP for the next 3 weeks to compensate players for any missing progress. It's unclear if today's update will fully fix the issues or if more patches are needed. Let us know in the comments what your experience is so far. EA just revealed a new partnership with Marvel to develop 3 games. One is already in development at Motive. It'll be an Iron Man title. It's unclear how closely these games will tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're described as original stories set within the Marvel Universe. Recent Marvel games like Guardians of the Galaxy borrow some of their look and feel from the movies, but all the characters had new appearances, different actors voicing the roles, and stories based on the comics rather than the films. Motive's Iron Man game is still very early in development, but it'll be the first title to launch under the partnership. Former Doom composer Mick Gordon revealed some new work for the upcoming horror title Routine. The game was announced several years ago, only to miss all of its deadlines and go radio silent for years. It was re-announced this year, but still doesn't have a release date. Gordon is contributing to the game's soundtrack and sound design. The clip he shared showcases an NPC called the IC, a walking vintage computer. Of course, the audio sounds incredible. It's Mick Gordon after all. God of War Ragnarok's developer released a statement regarding the leaks of the upcoming game. A retailer broke the street date for the title, and spoilers for the entire game have made their way online. The leaked info includes descriptions of the story with screenshots and footage. The devs recommended muting or blocking any related terms to avoid spoilers. Ragnarok releases on November 9th. IKEA, the furniture store, is demanding an indie developer make some key changes to his upcoming FPS title. The game The Store is Closed riffs on the iconic Swedish furniture store's appearance and layout as part of its level design, but it's not exactly a one-to-one reproduction of the stores. The game's promotional material and menu feature an exterior shot of the game's setting that shows the iconic blue and yellow design of IKEA's facade. However, the store is called Styr. In general, it's very easy to draw some direct comparisons between the game and IKEA stores, from the signage to the striped yellow shirts some of the game's enemies wear. However, the game's developer quickly pointed out that Escape from Tarkov also has its own version of an IKEA called Idea that has eluded the company's lawyer so far. He's currently reworking the entire visual design of the game to meet IKEA's demands to distance it from their stores within 10 days. If he fails to meet this demand, the retailer could potentially open up a lawsuit against the developer. Remedy says Alan Wake is on track for a 2023 release. The game is the long-awaited sequel to the 2010 cult hit that helped further cement Remedy as a top-tier studio, along with their success with the Max Payne franchise. In the 12 years since Alan Wake launched, the rights to the franchise were transferred from Xbox to Remedy. Remedy also has a massive hit with their third-person paranormal shooter Control. That game included tie-ins with Alan Wake and helped fuel a new demand for the sequel. Riven, the sequel to the iconic puzzle game Myst, is getting a proper remake. Riven was a major success when it released in 1997, but hasn't gotten a proper 3D overhaul like Myst did. Developer Cyan announced the remake of Riven will be a 3D title instead of a point-and-click adventure experience like the original. There's no release date for the remake yet, and the developers are taking their time to ensure a quality experience. Before we get to our next story, please consider subscribing or becoming a channel member. If you've made it this far into the video, chances are you're enjoying what we do. Subscribing or becoming a channel member is a fantastic way of turning your viewership into direct support of our future content. Members get exclusive emotes and name badges, and any and all support is greatly appreciated. Popular game news account Nibel announced his departure from Twitter. Nibel was one of the most reliable sources for breaking gaming news and has spent several years building a massive following of gamers. He recently launched a Patreon to support his content, which is likely his full-time job. Unfortunately, the income from Patreon wasn't enough. He released a statement on Patreon detailing his decision to stop posting on Twitter, citing concerns about Elon Musk's takeover of the platform. A large spike in toxic Twitter content was observed observed in the wake of Musk's takeover. Nibel also admits the failure of his Patreon was likely since he just tweets articles other people write. Following him was really more of a time saver than anything. His account has been locked to avoid it being used for malicious activities. Now, if you're looking for a break from the Call of Duty and Battlefield updates, check out my latest GTFO video. It's the perfect video for a spooky Halloween viewing experience and covers some of the new content added in the game's latest update. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.